Hello and welcome to another episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. This is Beriathan of the Citadel Guard of Gondor, and today we'll begin a new stage in our journey as we head to Mordor. So you would remember we got this quest on the last episode after we completed Volume 4. So yeah, we're basically ready to go to Gondor and to the Black Gate after the battle. Awesome. We do have this horse that will take us there. All is not quiet in Mordor, my friend. I need someone like yourself to be my eyes upon the wreckage of Sauron's domain. Aragorn has appointed Sadr, a captain of Gondor, to watch over the Black Gate. Others led an expedition into Mordor. While you are not obligated, I ask of you to join the company. Speak with Sadr if you are willing to brave the plateau of Gorgoroth. Sure.
Sauron has been defeated, but the evil he stirred to wakefulness persists.
Sauron has been defeated, but that is not the end of the evil he stirred to wakefulness, Beriathan. Who can say what lies hidden beneath the shroud that covers Gorgoroth beyond the wreckage of the Black Gate? The Dark Lord was a master of foul sorceries, and from the height of Barad-dûr he set many terrible plans into motion. I cannot believe that everyone ended when he did. Adventurers have already begun taking hesitant steps through the ruin of the gate. Let us join them and I will take their measure. The dangers that await in Mordor will be too great for some of them, I warrant. Oh yeah. And here of course we can see... Oh, the Black Gate destroyed. Looks surprisingly creepy. I mean, it still looks menacing, despite the wreckage and what it represents, but it still looks menacing. So Gandalf is right in thinking the evil of Sauron has not fully left Mordor after the destruction of the rings. So that's what we are going to look at. We're headed towards the Land of Shadows. And God knows what will we find there.
Do these adventurers think the fall of Sauron emptied his land of evil?
It is as I thought. Some few of these adventurers are made of stern stuff, but most of them are not prepared for the dangers that await them. Do they think the fall of Sauron has emptied his land of evil? Aye, they believe none remain to guard his treasures, and they hope to have the picking of his coffers. But I must urge caution. Many of the artifacts that might be found within Mordor will be wholly evil or corrupted beyond any use by good folk. Most of these adventurers do not know the first thing about dealing with such fell entrapments. Speak to them, Beriathan, and try to dissuade them from such hasty courses, or at least give them these warnings, so they will not blunder into their fates all unawares. After they are duly warned, you should journey ahead and see what foes await us in Udûn. Look for the forges where the weapons with which Sauron equipped his armies were made.
I am a scholar from the Houses of Law in Minas Tirith.
I know you, Beriathan. Or rather, I have heard tales of the many great deeds you have performed, and to a scholar that feels like much the same thing. My name is Cavadil, and I am a scholar from the Houses of Law in Minas Tirith. My master sent me to acquire artifacts and knowledge that might be found in Osgiliath following its recapture, but that seemed a bit on the dull side for me. I may have gotten a little carried away, but I challenge you to describe a more likely place to find artifacts and knowledge than the land of Mordor, which has remained close to us for so long. You cannot do it, can you? Nay, I thought not. That is why I asked the question. You give Cavadil the warning of Mithrandir and she smiles eagerly. Oh yes, I will not take anything we find in there for granted. Physically, I will take it, of course, pick it up, and carry it gently and carefully so as to protect anyone else from harm, and bring it back to the Houses of Lore for study. Thank you for the warning. Very useful things to have, warnings. Folks are always giving me warnings for some reason or another. I think it makes them feel better.
Can Sauron truly be gone from Mordor?
I respect the warning of Mithrandir, but I do not need it. For I am Harthaleen, and this is not my first adventure in the Black Land. I fought at the site of High King Gil-galad during the Battle of Dagorlad, and I know well the subtleties of Mordor. Many of my friends fell before the Black Gate, and many others met their ends on the slopes of Udûn. I wish to pay my respects to those who fell long ago, and I have one other purpose beyond that. I have returned to Mordor with an abundance of caution, for I disbelieve that Sauron can truly be gone. Have we not heard this tale before? I desire to see proof with my own eyes, for he is a master of trickery and deceit, and has escaped death time and again. What is different now? I welcome your assistance, Beriathan. We will need to rely upon our friends when we journey in the realm of Sauron, whether he be truly dead or not. So Harthaline, as she was saying, that she is an elf that fought during the War of the Last Alliance, and if your character is a high elf, you will meet Harthaline during the prologue, and she will acknowledge you during this quest. But we're not. We're just regular man of Gondor.
Eyes up, ever wary.
I cannot abandon my post here at the Black Gate. Aragorn has tasked me with keeping tally on those who enter Mordor, and passing what information we have learned on to him. Yet there are affairs in Udûn that must be looked after which go unattended. You're going that way? Perhaps you could be of some help? Sure. You will see here we have already removed the Stone of the Tortoise, of course, as we are already starting a new area. And the level cap was increased in Mordor, so we're ready to continue leveling up. I have expected a report these last 2 days from the Foothold. That is the new encampment of our men in Udûn. A large, well-provisioned force is stationed there under Captain Lachír, and I can think of no reason for the silence. If you pass the Foothold, Warden, will you remind them of their duties? My patience grows thin.
The Vale of Udûn lies ahead.
Hail, friend, and welcome to Cirith Gorgor. The Vale of Udûn lies ahead, beyond Cirith Gorgor, and all its attendant treasures are ready for the taking. I am Rogrin, and I am a soldier of Gondor. I fought on the Pelennor and before the Black Gate, and now I am prepared to seize the spoils of war from the clutches of the vile orcs who fought for Sauron. They say he is dead, and I believe it. I was fighting at the base of one of the Slag Hills when the Mountain of Fire shook all of Mordor, and I felt that blast in my very bones. The Dark Lord was much nearer to the mountain than that, perhaps on its very slope, and not even he could survive that, could he? No, I think not. It is only right that Gondor reaps the rewards of victory. You tell Rogrin of Mithrandir's warning about the artifacts that might remain in Mordor, and he scoffs. I know dark magic when I say it, and I will not go near anything of that sort. I want gold and silver and gems. Those are the spoils I understand, and those are the spoils I seek. The wizard needs not worry on my account. I can take care of myself.
It is an honor to meet you, for I have heard tell of your great deeds.
It is an honor to meet you, Beriathan, for I have heard tale of the great deeds you have done in service of Middle-earth. I would appreciate your help and your guidance in Mordor, if you would provide it, for I have a task of my own I wish to undertake in the Black Land. I am called Anna, and I am a ranger of Ithilien. I walk the woods for Faramir and will again if he commands it, but my heart urges me in another direction, and my feet would follow, for I am a descendant of the Thandrim, men of Gondor who dwelt within the bounds of Mordor and kept a watch on the evil that stirred there. The Thandrim built the great forces of Durthan, the Black Shield, and from its high parapet they kept watch over Udûn. But in the time the watch became less and their numbers dwindled and the Thandrim failed. I wish to honor their memory and take vengeance upon the creatures of Sauron that slew them. Will you hate me? You give Anna the warning of Mithrandir and he nods. I do not care for treasure, Beriathan. All I seek is to honor the memory of Thandrim, for their blood runs in my veins. Yeah, we can do that. So, that means time to go into Mordor at long last and see what fate has in store for us. I don't want to go too fast, so that's why I'm going with the regular steed, because I do want to keep an eye open for everything we're gonna find on our way to Mordor, and hopefully you will see what I mean in just a moment. I'm not sure if we will be able to find some of that I'm looking for over here, so I just want to take it easy. Suits matched page, yeah. That's the one. I knew there was one in here.
Over 7 years later, after siege, strife, and victory, did Isildur return as king and conqueror to the Vale of Udûn.
So, what you see here is a remote quest. The Lost Lore. This is a mechanic that was introduced with Mordor. Basically, there are pages scattered around the land that will tell you some of the lore of the area. And when you complete them, you will get a housing item with the full story. And that's really cool to have, but you do need to keep an eye open to finish to discover all those pages. And we got the first one in there for the War of the Last Alliance. We also have a deed in here. The way into Mordor, discover the Iron Road. And here we have the Foothold of Udûn. Lots of people in here today. The Foothold camp is nearly empty.
Come.
No, lots of players is what I mean. I'm not used to seeing that many players in here. Forget the blasted flags, Barathron. What did I miss? Let me grab the milestone first.
Come.
Mulnír Sykes. Yes, you have my word that we will send a report just as soon as we have gathered our wits and made sense of this mess.
Things will go from bad to worse, I expect.
Judas? Ha! You can tell that to Captain Lachír and all the men he took with him, wherever they are. You did Quests of Udûn, and that is 30 of those. Okay.
You find us bereft of command or purpose.
The captain charged with overseeing this encampment marched off yesterday, nearly all the station men at his side. The scouting expedition, as he named it, disappeared in that smoky green miasma, and we have not seen nor heard sign of them since. Captain Lachír's only orders to the few of us remaining were to stay put. Surely he meant to have returned by now, and surely the thing of utmost importance is to learn what became of them. Mulnír then glares meaningfully at the other soldier. No matter what my brother-at-arms here will attempt to persuade you, we cannot go after them. Our orders forbid it. But you may. I beg of you, say that you will. Lives might depend on it. We saw them head east into Udûn, then turn south shortly down the central road. Any search for them must start there, I think.
A riddle has come to us, perhaps of great importance.
A most intriguing riddle has come to us, perhaps a riddle of great importance. Who can say? A dying Nurnhoth, those are the Mordor slaves' men you see, told us of a secret plan among the forged laborers of Udûn. Stranger still, it is all arranged in the voiceless code. The poor soul could tell us little else before he passed, save that the plan should take place soon. How inconvenient that our captain has not returned, and that he left clear orders that we were to hold the camp until he did. No, Mulnír, I do not think he is lost or in peril. I fear what this plan will be. I fear that it will come and go before there is any chance to find it out. And what will happen if it does? Good man, you will unravel this riddle for me, won't you? Someone must.
If the whispers are true, there are signal flags understood only by the forge workers.
Good. Now, listen closely. If the whispers are true, there are signal flags placed around the near basin of Udûn. Taken together, the symbols and signs understood only by the forge workers of this place convey a message. For instance, a half circle might be taken to mean dawn or perhaps dusk, and 3 close lines might be taken for a meeting. A raised arm might be taken for taskmaster, and one bent like a snake might be water or drink. In truth, I know not. If you will go and make a study of these banners, however, I feel certain that together we may get to the root of it, and so discover what plans the lurking dwellers of this place are making behind our backs. It is sure to be something treacherous and harmful to Gondor. We'll investigate, of course. And take a look what we have here. Did you feel the change in the wind upon crossing the Black Gate, Beriathan? Everything in this accursed land is tainted. The earth, the water, even the air. Allow me to introduce myself. I am Narthabran, Master Smith of the Noldor. I was present when the last alliance broke into this valley and defeated Sauron's army. I was filled with sorrow and anger, seeing the atrocities they had committed here, and have made it my life's work to find a way to purge the corruption. I now believe I have the right tool to achieve this. I have recovered one of the adamants of old, the Flame of Ancalamir. It will unravel many items throughout Middle-earth into different components that I have named Embers of Enchantment, Figments of Splendor, and Modes of Enchantment. What do you think? I thought those names might help bring a little more light into this dark place. Anyway, after I break the objects down, I am then able to use some of those components to fashion extraordinary equipment. I have a feeling you will be instrumental in the conquest of Gorgoroth, and as such will be encountering many of these special items in your travels. I have a proposition for you. I will allow you use of the flame. My assistants, the High Enchanters, will help you. You need only touch one of these objects to the flame and it will be reduced to one of these components. I believe that dwarf over there has been scavenging through the orcs' forges. Perhaps he is willing to let go of something for this purpose. Find a piece of equipment, touch it to the flame, and then return to me. So here we have the High Enchanter.
May I help? Browse
the shop. Oh. Okay. Some recipes and the Flame of Ancalamir. As Narthabran explained, you only need to deconstruct some of these items to get those currencies. You can technically get the Flame of Ancalamir at Bree. As soon as you can get there, you might get some of those items at low levels. But this mechanic was actually introduced in Mordor, and that's why I prefer to wait a little before I get the flame. It feels more natural this way.
We are dwarves and the folk of Durin.
Ah, the elf's right. I am seeking anything of value that might have been left behind. The orcs were churning out thousands of blades and armor pieces from these forges, but most of them are foul Morgul steel. Nothing I want anything to do with. Here, take this dagger. I found it's worthless to me. And tell that elf he's better off leaving this sort of thing to the dwarves. The dagger crumbles before your eyes. What now? The Flame of Ancalamir has performed as expected then? Excellent. In your travels, should you find equipment for which you have no use, I ask that you destroy it with the flame and give the results to one of my assistants. They will reward you with powerful items of my own making, free from the foulness of this land. Good luck and safe travels, friend. Yeah, a quick tutorial on how to use the Flame of Ancalamir. And that's basically it. Now, we're ready to go into Udûn. And we technically don't need to come in here, but I think... Yeah, Forge Works of Udûn. This is the first explorer deed we have. There are 16 forges in Udûn. They are not mapped on the map when you discover them, so you just need to make your way around the place and trigger the discovery. So you gotta keep... you gotta remember how these forge works look and make sure you approach them as much as you need to trigger the discovery. I actually didn't know about the existence of this deed the first time I went into Mordor, so I had a hard time keeping track of what had I discovered and what was I missing. So now I'm hoping I will be able to do better and not struggle as much with this deed. Let us hope I'm right. And what do we have here? Forge Workers Layer of Udûn and a quest. The enemy you just defeated was carrying strange machine parts. You ponder if there are more parts out there in Udûn, held by the enemies who still dwell near the forges. Yeah, we can take a look. Now, in Mordor there are also, of course, hidden treasures. And I have no idea, but I think there's supposed to be one of them around here. Okay, here we have another great forge work. Beast's Layer of Udûn. Let us actually check those deeds. We need 100 of each. I know, 80 forge workers. Okay, that's even better. Soldier's Layer of Udûn, right? I think this door is linked to a quest, but we're not at that point yet. Soldiers, 80 of them. Okay. Okay. That was really fast. Search Udûn for the Forges of Mordor. Okay, okay. We will be advancing. Not the epic in Mordor. I mean, the epic has technically concluded for the time being. So we are doing the new kind of main story quests introduced with Mordor. That is the Black Book of Mordor. That's what we're doing. Is this a forge? Ah, Forged Fires of Udûn. Discovered Forging Furnace. Yeah, I knew. We also need to find this one. You find several soldiers crawling among the refuse on the ground.
Eyes up. Ever wary.
Ah, good. They've sent another. The soldier does not even look up to take you in. Well then, what are you waiting for? Lend a hand. The captain's command was to roll over every stone and pry open every soldier's chest until we found something of value. If we don't step up the pace, we'll be out here yet another day. What do I need to do? Search among the rubble? Okay. Seems a little not what I'm supposed to be doing. I mean, we're supposed to be saving these guys, but you want me to do this? I'll do it. As you see here, there are a lot of landscape quests in Udûn. Oh, for God's sake. The enforcers of Ugrukor, captain of the pit, can be found throughout Udûn, striking fear and carrying out his will wherever they go. Okay, we have another great forge work in here. We need to defeat the enforcers of Ugrukor. We still have no idea who Ugrukor is, but that's something we'll find out soon enough. For the time being, we'll just need to continue exploring this area around here and gathering the chests and everything. Okay, come over. You want a piece of me? Come and get it. That's better. Oh, what do we have here? Gorgoroth artifact chest. I want to get one of those. We really need to start getting the crafting mats for the Doomfall tier. I mean, we already have some, but we of course need a lot of them.
For Gondor.
At last, Yadan lifts his gaze. His eyes widen in surprise when he sees you are no common soldier. You explain that you have come looking for Captain Lachír. Well now, we were hardly with him long, were we? Got a ways down the road, saw some refuse and he set us on it. Seemed to think some treasure, real treasure, might be just under the next bit of rubble. I cannot rightly say he set out with that in mind, but the idea seemed to seize him somehow, if you understand me. A distant look comes into his eyes. It comes to me now that we may have been the lucky ones.
There is much to be done.
Perhaps it is well that you are looking after him. We know he carried on farther down the road. We watched him go, I'll confess it. Set his sights on something and after a stretch turned north. You go looking, you'll find signs of him, I guess. Okay, yeah, let's continue looking. Udûn is kind of confusing for me. If anything, because, once again, you need to keep an eye out for the forges and the forge works and the furnaces, and keeping track of that. I find it really difficult. For example, this one. There seems to be another one of those forge works. But I'm trying to figure out how am I supposed to get there? Just as simple as this, it seems. Ah, here we have one of those signal flags that we were looking for anyway, so... While many flee before the coming Gondorian army, some small number of Udûn's forge workers and men from the distant lands may take the knee and surrender themselves. These few should be afforded the mercy and respect of the free peoples. Take me as a prisoner. Anything is better than this place. Go to the camp, we'll see what we can do. Found signal flags now. Am I supposed to get credit for this one? Once again, it does get kind of tricky after a while. You have a clear path set for you to the southeast, but there are so many things to look for and to discover that it's really easy to lose track of where you're supposed to be going. For example, here, I think this is another furnace right next to a signal flag anyway, so yeah. I'll do my best, but I don't know how will I do with these explorer deeds. You gotta give credit where credit's due, and that's the fact that for once these explorer deeds require you to actually explore. There are not many quests linked to some of these locations, so you do need to do the hard work for yourself. The fact that they are not marked on your map after you find them also makes it tricky to know where to go. So just keep both eyes open, I guess. It seems our weapons are still good enough to be able to withstand large waves of enemies. So I hope we can keep this advantage for a little bit longer. Take me as a prisoner. Anything is better than this place? Yeah. You already told me that. Does this count as another forge? No. Let us continue exploring. Suit smudged page. Awesome. I was starting to wonder about these ones.
We believe it was in the Second Age, after Sauron came to Mordor, that he set to work building an army to make war against the kingdoms of men and elves.
Discover the parade grounds? Okay. So with those last lore pages, at first it doesn't make a lot of sense what they're talking about. You are able to piece the story the more pages you collect, but it's still really rewarding being able to finally get the full picture once you find all of them. And listening to all the fragments in order, that's also great. I think the LOTRO team, I think this idea is great. It works wonders for the game, and it adds a lot in terms of lore, in terms of exploration. It's just a great overall quest. Wonder what they mean? Go on and look at them, then come back to me. Okay. Now we'll know how that quest is gonna proceed. And I do remember I struggled a lot with these flags the first time I was here in Mordor. A whole lot. I couldn't find them for the life of me. Took me a long while to do so. The Uruks and sorcerers within the fastness of Durthanc are like sharp talons and fell venom of Urukor's might. They instill fear and obedience, the one by force, the other by subtler means. I surrender. Yeah, thank you for that. You know what's best for you. Now, I'm already starting to lose track of so many things to do. There we go. With all the machine parts you have gathered, there must be many machines in Udûn that are not working properly. Perhaps you should seek out those broken machines and try to repair them. Okay. Now where do I look for these machines? This is getting overwhelming really fast with the amount of things there are to do, the amount of things there are to discover. Part of me loves it. At the same time, I feel intimidated. You spy a couple more soldiers not far from the road. Okay, and what's the deal with you guys?
We should do what we must and leave this land quickly.
Well, Matt, I cannot say how good it is to find a friendly face out here. Did you take note of the several hatchways positioned about this area? They lead down into crawlways among the forges. We were given the tiresome and dangerous charge of opening them up in search of, well, I cannot say why, but the captain felt sure some treasure or artifact or powerful weapon might lie within. In truth, as we went on, he talked of little else. At every bend, under every posture, he felt something marvelous must lie. Would you help us with our task? We have done some and do not have much farther to go. Sure. Can do some of that. Another forge work? Okay. It seems someone wasn't here recently. Some of these hatches are already opened. And there are enemies everywhere. Or maybe this is just the regular design of this area? I don't know, but yeah, these open hatches make me believe somebody was already here. Gonna open this one. Not treasure here. Of course there is no treasure in here. There never is. The Great Eye is gone. I bow before Gondor. Yeah, that is a wise choice. Now, there are some furnaces over here, so let us try and get them. An open hatch? Okay. This works as well, of course. No treasure, there's never any treasure. Another furnace. There we go. Oh, who's attacking me now? Alright. What else? Let me see. Let me just double check what's at the end of this path. Once again, I think at some point we will be sent here. Well, at least there's a page. So let us grab it.
Strange ores Sauron found, which had been laid bare when the earth had trembled and broken. And these he smelted into secret alloys with dark enchantments. Mordor steel.
Very interesting. Okay, back to the Gondorian guys. Ah, another frightened dwarf in here. He respawned. That's great. One free count for the count of the quest. Oh, you scared me.
We are Gondor's eyes and Gondor's swords in this place.
You found no treasure either, did you? Melor looks deflated and tired. Only goblins and the like? Aye, that's the same rotten luck we've been having. Orders are orders though, and if we keep at it, I'm sure things will turn around. Alarmed, you tell them that you doubt there is any treasure down there, and that what they are doing is foolhardy and dangerous.
We should do what we must, and leave this land quickly.
Othrax looks relieved. You really think so? I thought it was a kind of madness, but then the captain is so clever and self-sure. And as time went on, it seemed that after all, it was the reason for our search party. But now I feel as if some fog has lifted. You have given me the courage to trust my eyes and heart. What a relief, eh, Melor? Will you help us just once more, friend? I think we should shut back up some of the hatches we opened before an overwhelming number of orcs and goblins come scuttling it out of them all. Alright, that explains why some of these are already opened. Ah. Come here then. That's what you want. Already open hatch? Where? Oh, okay. Alright, and the last one. Oh, they were all around here. That's so nice.
This is a dark place. A dreary place.
You have our solemn thanks, good man, for freeing us from this folly. We will return to the Foothold with all speed, I assure you. But first, is there aught we can do for you? Yeah, first let me see what it is you're giving. No. Agility, vitality, evade, no. Yeah, these are all defensive earrings. And the light of Arendelle they give, it's not that good to begin with.
Aye.
You wish to know where Captain Lachír has gone? That I can say, I'm better than you might imagine. He set off east, you see, after leaving us here, and was gone for some time. Then, some half a day later, we saw him marching back along the road and our hearts leaped, only to sink again. They came not for us, nor were they returning to the Foothold. No. We watched them make their way down the central road, then turn up on the rising northward path. If you would find them, you must follow them there. Well, this seems to be the questline that we are currently following. I mean, there are several of them, but this seems to be the one that's easier to follow. I mean, we're bound to explore all areas of Udûn eventually, but for the time being, let us follow this one. It's just so hard that there's no way to keep track of which forge works and furnaces you have already located. The Great Eye is gone. I bow before Gondor, yeah. Forging furnaces, yeah. 80 Soul, the RP Slayer, Forge Workers. There we go. This is the rising road that Captain Lachír took. Discover the west road to Anglach. What comes next? A small knockdown Gondorian banner catches your eye. Probably Captain Lachír is doing. And there they go. The Gondorian flag stands proudly once again. Continue up the road and fix flags. So this is not the road, but let us see what there is to discover at the end of this one. Enforcer of Ugrukor, well, need this for the quest anyway. Well, another forge work. That's for sure. And more hatches in here. It turns out there are even more open hatchways on the northern side of Udûn, out of which angry inhabitants may still pour. And we of course cannot have that. Gotta close 8 of them. At the same time, wonder if we will find any more pages, treasures. Yeah, it's so easy to get lost exploring Mordor. Aha, knew it. Treasure cache. Treasure of Udûn. How many? 12 of them. And another forging furnace as well. Very much worth it coming all this way. "12 treasures in Udûn." I'm pretty sure that we have already missed one at least. But it's a tricky one to find. I have a slight idea of where it is, but I always struggle finding that one. I don't think this would be another forge work. Doesn't seem to be. But you can never be sure. Around here. Better safe than sorry. Who's attacking? Got a feeling we're getting a lot of things in here. Greenbolt's camp. Okay, maybe we can do something with that. Hey. I think the scimitars are task items. Good to have. let us keep going up. All right. Let us keep going. They're gonna attack, I'm sure. Continue up the road and fix more flags. Did I miss one? Why didn't I get credit for this one? I wonder. There we go. That's it. We can continue up now. A lone lookout stands on a rocky outcropping south of the road. Who is he? Coldan.
Eyes up. Ever wary.
Have you come in here to relieve me? Truly, I know not how long I have stood here. The winds at this height cut through my armor, and though a foul fog poisons the air, I feel as if every red, malicious eye in Udûn is fixed upon me where I stand. The lookout shivers. Why, you ask? Come stand by me, with your back to Udûn and your eyes up. What is it that you see? Well, first let me take a look towards Udûn. Over there you can see the Fortress of Durthang. We'll come to learn more about this one as we get to it, of course, but you already know what we'll be up against. And of course, here we have another big fortress, and this one is Anglach. A vast and forbidding edifice rises against the mountain face.
There is much to be done.
That which you see is named Anglach, perhaps the greatest of forges in Mordor. I have stood and kept watch on it since yesterday when Captain Lachír posted me here. The lookout seems scared and miserable. You tell him to return to the Foothold, and it is as if a great weight has been lifted from his shoulders. Reason and duty have worked in me these many hours. Thanks to you, Warden, they may stop their contest and live here, hand in hand.
There is much to be done.
Have you guessed it? It was into Anglach that Captain Lachír led the search party. He felt that for certain that miraculous treasure he had become fixated on must lie within. I have watched for the better part of a day, and still they have not returned. Does that mean they have found the treasure? I am unsure. I do not like lingering on the thought. If you seek him, that is where you're bound to. As for me, I will take your good counsel and make straight for the Foothold. Yeah, please do while you can. Let a pro deal with it. There we go. Going in and out of the Shadow of Mordor areas that will apply certain debuffs on you. I mean, we'll get a full explanation in that in just a moment. Well, not a moment, but later on. If we advance enough on the Black Book quests, we'll get an explanation for this Shadow of Mordor. I'm not gonna get ahead of myself for that. Wow. Take a look at this. Talk about evil. Forges of Anglach. What hope did Lachír see in this forbidden place? Well, we're about to find out. Alright, here we are inside of Anglach, and we are ready to start looking for Lachír and his men. However, we have run out of time for today, so this is as much as we can do in one sitting. Once again, thank you for watching today's episode of Citadel Guard Adventures. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you on the next one. Until then, my friends, stay safe, take care, good luck to you all, and I will see you later.